Good morning. Yesterday was not a fun day. I didn't do a show, as you know. It was a rough one for me. Don't know what it was, depression. But yeah, some days you're dragged down, and yesterday was one of those days for me. I'm back today, yes. I did a little bit of reflecting on what I'm going to share. And sometimes, like, I never run out of material, but and what I want to share and what I want to give on my shows is like I want to bring some different subjects. And yesterday, just nothing came to me. Nothing came to me at all. Plus, I had this pain, this nerve pain shooting around my head, and it was rough. So I did some thinking this morning, and I finished up 1 Corinthians in the concordant commentary. And I wanted to expound upon a couple subjects. One is thankfulness, and the other one is happiness. Now, in our human selves, most days I'm not happy. Trust me, I'm not happy. It may look like I'm happy on the outward sense, but I'm not, like sometimes. And I get depressed and dragged down. And I was in that rut yesterday, yes, for sure. But these are the subjects I want to bring. The first is going to be thankfulness, and the next one's going to be happiness. I looked it up in the concordant commentary where it shows happy, and there's so much there. You know, the happiness is in spirit for us. It's not from a human standpoint or from a mortal place, because we're happy in our hearts. We're thankful in our hearts because we know our calling and we have an expectation. And this is why I said enjoying our lot now is really tough when we're dragged down in the physical sense. But today I'm going to start with thankfulness. So good morning. Happy to be back. My apologies for yesterday not putting out a show, but that's how it was. I just didn't have the energy or anything like that. And today I have the energy to bring you a show no matter what. And I say this no matter what, but some days, yeah, you just don't want to do it. And that was yesterday for me. Alright, praise and prayer. Thankfulness for favors received, for prayers answered, for benefits enjoyed, should arise from every grateful heart. But this falls far short of our privileges for today. Prayer should be accompanied by thanksgiving before the answer comes along with the petition. That is, the faith that honors God. Let us be grateful for that. He will not blindly obey our behests. Like if we're wanting something, wantedness. So much of the world is in wantedness. Gotta have this, want that. It doesn't work that way for us. It's what we need. Let us give thanks that He will only do what is for His glory, which alone is for our good. If we realize only a little of our own folly and feebleness, we'll be overwhelmingly grateful for every apparent failure to get what we want. Exactly. For there can be no doubt that it would have been bad for us. Right, so He sees that prior. He's not going to give us what we want because it might be bad for us. And against the glory of God. We're instinctively appreciative of receiving what we want. Right. So on the outward sense, yeah, we get what we want. We seem happy. Oh, I got what I want. No. But let us thank Him in advance for sending only that which accords with His intention. Thanksgiving is not based on a thing or a theory, but on life, experience, action, and rejoicing. Like the vivifying revelation which God has given us, the very form in which it is expressed conforms to its vital message. As it is such a brief and beautiful example of the divine mode of expression, which will set forth its literary structure or skeleton. Read down the left side and up the right. The center only calls attention to the theme of each line, which is repeated in reverse. Philippians chapter 4, verse 4. Reading down and reading up. Be rejoicing. I will declare again, be rejoicing always in the Lord. So Paul declares it twice. Rejoicing. And he does it twice on purpose. I'll say again, be rejoicing in the Lord always. Okay, we're going to go into what? And that means what to be thankful for. Joy is the beginning of the end of God. Is the beginning and end of God. So basically from the end to the beginning. You know, this is what God has set out. So we need to be rejoicing in the Lord in that respect. Where He knows the end from the beginning. He set it forth before it even happened. That's God's Aeonian operations. In anticipation, the morning stars sang together at the start. And at the close, all creation will exult in the consummation. Philippians chapter 2. That all creations, celestial, terrestrial, subterranean, will acclaim Jesus Christ as Lord. If the cosmos had such glorious boundaries, why should not we, microcosms, which we are, have a similar experience? I have been told that every atom is a miniature of the material world. Let us rejoice in remembrance of God's choice of us, and His call and the salvation He has provided, and the place we have in His Christ. Let us enjoy the prospect of the glory that lies before us, for we surely will exult when the fulfillment comes. So shall our thanksgiving be the link between the joy of anticipation and the rejoicing of the realization. And therefore it should always accompany prayer, not as a delayed and non-essential afterthought, but as the leading feature. Every petition should commence with thanks or worship, meaning that thanksgiving is actually worship. Not like you see in the Christian religion, like worship, prayer. No, it is thanksgiving from our heart. The two most important prayers for us are those embedded in the first chapters of Ephesians, which are the models for our imitation. In the first chapter, before he prays, Paul begins by blessing God for His grace. In Ephesians verse 3. Ephesians 1:3. And after having detailed our blessings, he gives thanks. And first in Ephesians chapter 1 verse 16. Before he prays that the saints may enter into a realization of their bliss. There's a rare rejoicing in what God has done for us in the past and what He proposes for the future, with Paul's petition in between. Prayer is but the link between past and future glories. If this is realized in our hearts, it will always be flavored by grateful praise of Him, to whom it is directed, toward God. Okay, so tomorrow I'll go into the who part. Who should we be thankful to? Well, it is the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ that we need to be thankful to. And who and what? It all comes down to our heart attitude. Our heart attitude. Like, yesterday I was miserable. So what? I'm miserable in my flesh. I'm a body of humiliation. In this body of humiliation. I'm not that in spirit. But the days that I have down days are so important in God's operation. His Spirit is the one that's going to be changing my mind, giving me a different attitude, giving me the happiness and thanksgiving and the peace through the trial and suffering. So, have a beautiful Wednesday, my friends, my fellow believers. I love you all. Thank you for your contributions and your love and your prayers and your petitions. Grace and peace. We will see you tomorrow.